Welcome to the deep dive. So you've sent us some really interesting sources about CAL, that's computer-assisted language learning, and, how effective it really is.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
It really is. So for this deep dive, we're going to zoom in on one really useful framework for understanding it better: cognitive load theory, basically how our brains handle learning.
Exactly. And we've got a fantastic guide for this, a pretty recent review article from the Educational Psychology Review. It pulls together, I think, over a decade of research.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it specifically looks at how different call techniques impact the mental effort needed to learn a language.
Right. And our mission here, as always, is to sift through that and pull out the actionable stuff for you, the listener. We want to get past just asking, is CAL good or bad?
Which isn't that helpful anyway.
Not really. We want to get into the why and the how. Like, how can you actually use CAL, whether you're learning a language or teaching one, in a way that genuinely helps?
And this review does a brilliant job of connecting the dots. One of the key things it identified is 12 specific features or affordances of call.
Okay, 12 features.
Yeah. And the idea is if these are designed and used with cognitive load in mind, they can seriously boost language learning. So we'll dig into those.
Sounds good. But first, let's nail down this cognitive load idea. When we say that, what exactly are we talking about?
Okay, so put simply, cognitive load is just the total amount of mental work your brain's doing in its working memory at any one time.
Right, your sort of mental workspace.
Exactly. But it's not all the same kind of work. The research usually breaks it down into three main types.
Okay, 3 types. Let's start with the first one. Intrinsic cognitive load. What's that about?
Intrinsic load is basically the difficulty that's just part of the material itself. It's inherent.
So, like, some things are just harder to learn than others?
Precisely. Think about really complex grammar rules in a new language, or maybe sounds that don't exist in your native tongue. That difficulty is intrinsic to what you're learning. You can't really eliminate it because, well, that's the stuff you actually need to learn.
Gotcha. It's the unavoidable challenge. Okay, then there's extraneous cognitive load. Now, that sounds like something we might be able to control.
Absolutely. Extraneous load is the mental effort created by how the information is presented. It's the load imposed by bad design, essentially.
Bad design. Like what?
Like maybe a language app with a really cluttered screen, confusing instructions, or just irrelevant animations buzzing around. That all adds to extraneous load.
Ah, okay. So it's effort that doesn't actually help you learn the language.
Exactly. It just gets in the way, makes everything harder than it needs to be. It's like trying to cook in a super messy kitchen. You spend more time looking for stuff than actually cooking.
Great analogy. Okay, so that's the bad load we want to minimize. What's the third type?
The third type is germane cognitive load. And this is the good stuff. This is the mental effort we actually want to encourage.
The useful effort. Tell me more.
Germane load is the effort your brain puts into actually processing the new information deeply, connecting it to what you already know, building those mental frameworks. The real learning part.
The aha moments?
Kind of, yeah. It's about making sense of it all. So effective call, the goal is to manage that necessary intrinsic load / the pointless extraneous load and really boost this productive germane load.
Okay, that framework makes sense. Manage the necessary difficulty, cut the clutter, and promote deep processing. So let's dive into those 12 features the review mentioned. How do specific call tools help manage these loads? First up was online annotations and glosses.
Right. So annotations and glosses, these are like little pop-up explanations for words or phrases right there in the text.
Okay.
And the research strongly suggests these can really cut down on extraneous load. Think about it. Instead of stopping, opening a dictionary app, losing your place.
Breaking your concentration.
Exactly, the definition is right there. It keeps your attention focused on understanding the meaning, on the flow of the text. It frees up that working memory.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Less jumping around mentally. Okay, what's next on the list?
Next is captioning, subtitles on videos or audio.
Right, we see those everywhere now.
Yeah.
How do they fit into cognitive load?
Well, captions can reduce extraneous load because they give you the information in two ways at once. You're hearing it and seeing it.
Dual coding.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It provides redundancy, and this seems especially helpful for learners who aren't super advanced yet, or maybe if the audio is difficult, fast speech, accents, background noise, it gives the brain extra support to process the language.
Okay, so it eases the processing burden, especially for listening comprehension, which can be tough. Number 3 was digital game-based language learning, DGBLL. Sounds fun, but what about the load?
Games are interesting. They can be a double-edged sword. A well-designed game can boost motivation, for sure. And it can potentially increase germane load by getting you actively using the language, solving problems, getting feedback within a context.
So you're actually doing stuff with the language.
Exactly. But if the game is poorly designed, maybe the rules are super complicated and have nothing to do with language, or it's just frustrating, it can pile on the extraneous load, the game itself becomes the distraction.
So the design is absolutely crucial. The fun needs to serve the learning, not get in the way. Okay, number 4, video conferencing and video feedback. How do these help?
These tools are all about interaction and personalized feedback. Talking with someone in real time, maybe a tutor or other learners,
Right.
and getting feedback, perhaps even video feedback where someone shows you specific things, that really encourages active participation and reflection. You're using the language, getting specific pointers, adjusting. That can really ramp up the germane load, the deep processing.
That makes sense. It's active and tailored.
Mm.
Okay, next, visualization-based learning approaches, using pictures and diagrams.
Yeah, things like images, charts, mind maps. Research suggests visuals can be really good at reducing extraneous load. Information presented visually can often be digested more easily than just text.
A picture's worth 1,000 words and all that.
Pretty much. And visuals can also boost germane load by helping learners build mental models, see connections between ideas, think learning grammar with a diagram or vocabulary with pictures.
Right. Helps make abstract concepts more concrete. Okay, number 6 is a bit broader. Online instructional content and features. What's key here for cognitive load?
This is really about the overall usability of the learning platform or materials. Is it well-structured? Is navigation clear? Can you track your progress easily?
Basic design principles.
Fundamentally, yes. If you're constantly fighting the interface, trying to figure out where things are, that's all extraneous load. It's wasted mental energy. A smooth, intuitive design lets you focus on the actual language.
Keep it simple, keep it clear.
Got it.
Number 7, online machine translation tools, like Google Translate. This one's always debated.
It really is. The research suggests these tools can be used strategically to lower intrinsic load, especially with really tough texts, getting the basic gist quickly.
Like a quick assist.
Yeah, but the big caution is over-reliance. If you just translate everything without trying to understand it yourself, you're likely hindering that deeper processing, that germane load. It becomes a crutch that stops you from building your own skills.
So use it sparingly as a temporary scaffold, not a replacement for effort. Makes sense. Okay, number 8, online interactive collaborative learning, working with others online.
Right. Collaboration can be fantastic for boosting germane load when you have to explain things to peers, negotiate meaning, hear different perspectives.
You have to think it through more deeply.
Exactly. That interaction forces deeper processing. But
Yeah.
again, structure is key. If the collaborative task is chaotic, if roles aren't clear, or if tech issues keep cropping up, it can just generate frustration and extraneous load.
So well-managed collaboration is good, poorly managed is bad. Seems like a theme.
It definitely is. Design matters.
Okay, number 9, metacognitive learning strategies, argument mapping. That sounds quite academic.
It's a bit more niche, maybe, but powerful. Argument mapping uses visual tools to lay out arguments, evidence, counter-arguments, and how they connect.
Like flowcharts for reasoning.
Kind of, yeah. And using software for this can really push learners to analyze and structure information in the target language, promoting critical thinking and, therefore, increasing germane load. It makes the structure of thought visible.
Interesting. Making thinking visible to aid learning. Okay, number 10, computer-mediated dictionary-assisted learning. We touched on glosses. How is this different?
It's similar, but focuses specifically on using digital dictionaries. Quick access definitely reduces extraneous load compared to flipping through a paper dictionary.
Sure.
But like translation tools, how you use it matters. If you look up every single word instantly, it can break the reading flow and maybe stop you from trying to guess from context.
Right, developing that skill is important too.
Exactly. So research suggests being strategic. Try to guess first. Then use the dictionary if needed might be better for promoting that useful germane load, finding that sweet spot between support and independent effort.
Balancing act again. Okay, almost there. Number 11, multiple display screens. Having 2 monitors.
Yeah, or even just multiple windows arranged well. The idea here, backed by research, is that it can reduce what's called the split attention effect.
Split attention.
It's a type of extraneous load. If you have to keep switching between, say, a text on one window and your notes or a video call on another, that constant switching takes up mental energy.
Oh, right.
Having things visible simultaneously on different screens or parts of a large screen means less mental juggling, less extraneous load.
Makes sense, especially with how much we multitask online. And finally, number 12. It seems familiar. Online instructional content and features again.
Yeah, it kind of loops back, underscoring that point about overall design quality. Clear structure, intuitive navigation. These aren't just nice to haves, they're fundamental for minimizing extraneous load across the board.
So it's a foundational principle running through all of this.
Right.
Wow, okay, that's a lot to take in. But seeing how each feature connects back to managing mental effort is really illuminating. But you mentioned earlier the review stressed that this isn't one size fits all.
Absolutely not. That's a critical point. Learner proficiency is a huge moderating factor.
How so?
Well, take those annotations or glosses we talked about. For an intermediate learner facing a complex text, they might be perfect, reducing extraneous load just enough. But for a complete beginner, all those pop-ups might just be overwhelming, adding more extraneous load.
Okay. Too much help can be unhelpful.
Exactly. And same with games. The challenge level has to be right for the learner. Too easy, they get bored. Too hard, they get frustrated, and germane load doesn't happen. There's even this concept called the expertise reversal effect.
Expertise reversal.
Yeah, it means that instructional methods that work great for novices can actually become ineffective or even hinder learning for more expert learners. They might need less scaffolding, more complex challenges.
That's fascinating. So the best approach changes as you learn. The review also mentioned something about generative learning practices, promoting germane load specifically.
Right. So a lot of strategies focus on cutting down extraneous load, which is crucial. But generative strategies are about actively boosting germane load. They push the learner to do something with the information.
Like what kind of things?
Things like summarizing information in your own words, maybe trying to teach a concept to someone else or taking what you learned and applying it to a new problem or situation. It's about actively constructing meaning, not just passively receiving info.
Making it your own, essentially.
That's a good way to put it. It fosters that deeper, more durable understanding.
Okay. And one last point from the review, it mentioned that actually measuring cognitive load is tricky.
Oh, definitely. It's a major challenge in the research. They use different methods, subjective ratings, like asking people, how hard was that?
Okay.
They also use physiological measures, heart rate, eye tracking, sometimes even brain activity, and of course performance measures. How well did they do on the task?
But none are perfect.
Right. Self-reports can be unreliable. Physiological measures can be affected by things other than just mental load, like stress or excitement. And task performance doesn't always tell you if the load was optimal for learning. Maybe they succeeded despite struggling excessively. So getting a really precise measure is still something researchers are working on.
It sounds like a really complex area to study accurately. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What's the big takeaway message for our listeners trying to learn a language using tech?
I think the main thing is this. Understanding these basic ideas about cognitive load, intrinsic, extraneous, germane, helps you make smarter choices.
Be more intentional about the tools you use.
Exactly. It's not just about using any tech, but using it mindfully. Ask yourself, is this tool actually helping me focus on the language, managing intrinsic load? Is it easy to use, or is it adding confusing clutter, extraneous load? Is it pushing me to think deeply and make connections, promoting germane load?
And thinking about those 12 features, the glosses, captions, games, visuals, collaboration tools, even screen setup, gives concrete examples of how technology can be designed or chosen to work with our cognitive processes, not against them.
Precisely. It gives you a lens to evaluate the apps, websites, and activities you're using. Are they well designed from a cognitive load perspective?
So the final thought for you, our listener, is maybe to take stock. Thinking about these features and the whole idea of managing mental effort, how could you perhaps adjust your own language learning routine?
Or if you design learning materials, how could you apply these principles?
Yeah. Are there specific call tools or features, based on what we've discussed, that you might want to explore now, knowing how they could potentially optimize your learning process? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.